What's up, fam? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing great, actually. Today, real quick, I want to jump into it. Today, we followed up and had a mentor meeting, and we got a chance to kind of talk about last week, that field trip that we took, and the stories that we heard. There was a gentleman there that we met that I think was in his 50s or 60s. I don't remember. But he talked about how as soon as he graduated from a small town in Alabama or something like that, he was 18. He got introduced to drugs, which then kind of dictated the next 30 years of his life. And so all the kids were kind of sharing their experience and the things that they had kind of gone through. They shared the stuff that they had learned from this gentleman sharing his story. And I touched on it briefly on another video, but it got me thinking, there's two words, right? There's behold, right? Behold of the people that come into your life, because they can impact you for the better. They can change your trajectory. And then there's another word, beware. All right, because what bad company corrupts good character. It could really change the decisions you make, the trouble that you get into, and one of my buddies that I mentor with, that I've been mentoring with for the last 8 years, he said, "Hey, Fabian, didn't you share a story where you were almost guilty by association?" And more or less the story was that after I got out of making a series of horrible choices in my life, my friends continued to make the same mistakes, and they actually got caught doing an in-home invasion in Katy. They tied up a family and they held them at gunpoint, and a lot of them ended up doing 5 years. I mean, 2 for their first offense, 2 to 3 years, but then the parents, they had to put their house up for sale and to try and bail them out of jail, which is horrible. And then one of the friends that we were there had just gotten out of prison. He went in when he was really young, and he was out. I think he was like 19 at the time or something like that, or 20. And then he went back in for 18 or 15 years. And we just reconnected when he got back a couple years ago. But I'm saying all that to say that, and I shared this with the class, is our whole life can change for the better or for the worse by one decision. I think my life changed for the better when I started running, and it also got exponentially worse when my spouse decided to get a divorce. I think I'd rather be in the camp where I make decisions and take risk, not knowing the outcome. I look back at some of the things I regret is really the undecision. Some of us struggle with analysis paralysis and overthinking things. I think sometimes I don't do that, but when I do, it really, really bothers me. When there's that girl that I didn't talk to or I didn't ask her name, I let the situation pass, and it's what ends up killing me, the rest of the day, or even every time I come by around the same situation, and I see, I'm reminded of the missed opportunity of getting to know someone. And I guess my encouragement is, we don't want to live our lives guessing what would have happened, right? We're all going to end up in the same place we're all gonna end up dead. Might as well do something we love, pursue something we believe in. I know it seems cliche or naive or stupid, but you know what? There's a bunch of shit out there that teaches you how to analyze every situation, how to make decisions, how to do all this shit. But I think sometimes, man, you just gotta say fuck it and do it. Take a risk, right? Take a risk. Move forward. We only have like a very small time in this planet, man. Very small time. I have a neighbor friend that I talked to. He had 2 dogs. He always walked around, and then up until recently, I connected with him during a storm. Our fences broke, and we talked. And, we were in each other's backyard, and we were just talking, and we hit it off, right? And he talks about how he's retired. Guy's in great shape, right? And he says how, I'm 34, and he's like, dude, you have your whole life ahead of you, right? And I feel like I've already lived 100 lifetimes, and I think even, say he's 50, what's he have, another, hopefully 20 to 30 years of life? I mean, I've been alive that long, to me that's a long time. Take the risk, man. You have time. Yes, we can fucking doom and gloom about the economy. Don't get me wrong. We're cooked. But it's not going to do us any good complaining about it, right? Yes, we need to have people and outlets and things like that we talk to, but dude, like, we need to fucking take the risk we want to take. At the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, what are you gonna do, right? You fucking go back to what you were already doing. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. There's a lot of opportunity. Take it, fall forward, man. I know sometimes, like, I get, when I talk to girls, or I ask for the cell, I do cold calls and stuff like that. I know I'm gonna get tons of no's, but it's the yes that make it worth the time. So what one decision are you gonna make, right? Whether it's small or big, that you think could at least have a change or an impact on your life today, right? Is it going on a walk? Is it talking to that girl? I know it's expensive as fuck, but is it making your coffee at home, or going and buying the coffee at the coffee shop where that cute barista works? Is it sharing a meal with someone? Is it something as simple as calling your parents, calling your mom, and telling her that you're thinking about her? Calling your dad, telling him that you appreciate him. Or even this, man, like, if there's a compliment you're thinking about someone in real life that you see, just say it. Like, what the fuck does it cost you to say it? Like, we have the gift of waking up every day. Maybe it's just a fucking dopamine hit that I just got from running. I've been running 8 miles, and my knees kind of hurt, but today I pushed it and I did 10, and man, after the 8 I just felt like on top of the world. But like, I feel like the veil is kind of lifted after those 8 miles, and I get to see how beautiful this life is, how lucky we are to be alive in such a time like this. You know, even though, yes, don't get me wrong, there is doom and gloom. But at any point in history, we're born now. And we're alive. A lot of things could have taken us out. A lot of things could have taken us out. I was in 2 car accidents within a month that I could easily not have walked away from. Count your blessings, man. You're alive for a fucking reason. You're needed. You're valued. And you're here to make this place different than how you found it, in a good way. We all have something to contribute. Even if it's not for, you know, the ungrateful people around us, even if it's just for a community that you build, you make a difference for them. Anyways, I love you. And stay alive. Don't let them have the last word. You got this. Peace.